What's up? What's up? It's your girl Mickey Truth, aka Mickey Facts, and I'm back with another video. So if you missed out on my live last night, you definitely missed a circus, okay? But it was fun. I definitely enjoyed myself. Thank you for everybody that pulled up on your girl, okay? However, we did get sideswiped into like all over the place with the conversation. So like I told everybody that watched the live, I'm going to do content videos, really putting the information that I was supposed to put out there in the right way in the video. So let's get started. And as always, this is for entertainment purposes only. All information in this video is per the Fair Use Act. Any conclusions that you may put together is on you, not me. Alright, let's get into it. So, YSL, YFN, both, I don't know what I should label it, right? But both groups of people are out of Atlanta, Georgia, right? So, if you've been living on a rock, or maybe you don't watch TV or look on the internet, which I doubt anybody can say that. But nevertheless, YSL is currently under a RICO case. YFN is currently under a RICO case, okay? Now, what I found kind of intriguing was how the two cases kind of tie in together in certain ways, right? If you even search YSL or YFN on YouTube or probably even through Google, you're going to come across them being in some of the same topics or same videos. So what I'm going to do in this particular video is do links between the two per documentation, okay? Now, like I said on live last night, it may be incidents that maybe you know or have heard of that's not on the indictment, right? And that's okay. But what I'm referencing is just the RICO cases in particular, right? I have gotten both indictments. So I have the YFN indictment for the RICO, and I have the YSL indictment for the RICO. So that's what I'm going to be basing the links from. What's included in these documents that cross into each other, right? So, let's get started. Now, to begin, we will have to start with YFN. And the reason why I say YFN is because they actually caught their RICO indictment first in 2021. YSL caught theirs in 2022. Okay? Now, per the RICO indictment for YFN, okay? It's some situations that has arisen.
Well, we'll ask on different charges for the maximum
on,
penalties, and there's obviously many people that are looking at life under this indictment. You're absolutely right. These are serious times. They're serious allegations, and it is my opinion that violence in our community deserves maximum penalties.
And pushed out of a moving SUV, according to witnesses, which later is revealed that YFN Lucci, aka Rayshawn Bennett, was the driver of that vehicle. Now, that's in the indictment for sure, right? Now, what other people may know or may not know is YSL, the key murder in that case is the murder of Donovan Thomas Jr., aka Nut, okay? I know prior to this case, I actually heard of Nut, but it was through YFN Lucci because he would say the name all the time in his songs. And, you know, I definitely listen to Young Thug and Lucci, so, you know, I've heard it before. So those are the main murder cases in the two RICO cases, okay? Now, as far as the links, let's get into that now. So we're going to begin. Again, this may not be every single incident that ever happened to him, but it's definitely the beginning of the RICO case, okay? So in 2015, Donovan Nut Thomas is killed, which I've stated Nut was a YFN associate, okay? According to federal documents, Kenneth Copeland, aka Lil Woody, who is an alleged YSL associate by his own accord and per the documents, was considered to be the killer by members of the Nine Deuce Blood Gang. In the same document that lists that, it states that Kenneth Copeland, aka Lil Woody, was targeted right after the killing of Nut, okay? In a short time span of January 10, 2015 to February 19, 2015, there were 14 shooting events. And out of those 14, 10 of them was targeted Lil Woody and his family, okay? Now, on February 19, 2015, Lil Woody, along with his baby mother and their child, were victims of a drive-by. Lil Woody was able to fire back, hitting one of 3 of the shooters. How do we know this? It's in the document, right? In the search warrant, to be exact. In the warrant, it states that once the shooting happened, the car actually wrecked into a home. The homeowner was then able to see 2 people carrying a third person, which that's how they found out one was hit. Now, what I will throw out there is that per the documents and all documents I've looked at, it never confirmed who was the person that was shot. And it never called a third suspect. Okay? Now, I do have my theories on who that third person was, but it's not in the document, and I'll get into that later. Now, according to this same document, it is shown, and it's actually written just like this. Copeland was able to identify Delviante Tay Fleetwood as one of the suspects. Now, it's not clear per this same search warrant how a second suspect was named. However, another person was arrested also, Octavius Franklin. Okay? So, about maybe like a week and a half after this incident, on February 27, 2015, a confidential source provided the whereabouts of Fleetwood, stating that Fleetwood was staying with a friend named D. In this document, D is stated to be Darren Mills, who is gang affiliated because he's currently in jail for gang-related crimes. However, I have not been able to actually find a document myself that says what gang he is with, okay? I mean, I can assume and put my opinion, but I did not find the document. Now, I probably could dig deeper into his case to find it, but just on the basis of the RICO case, because he's not listed on either RICO case, that's where we stop at that for now, because I'm going to tell you something interesting in a minute. Now, along with Darren Mills' name, his mother is listed as well, and that's because her home is the one being searched. Now, this is where things get interesting, because according to documents, Darren Mills and Kenneth Copeland, which we know as Lil Woody, are on, or were, because this case is closed, were listed as witnesses on the case against Fleetwood and Franklin. Yes, you heard me. Darren Mills and Kenneth Copeland were listed as witnesses on the case. Now, according to the documents, Lil Woody was a victim. Now, y'all already know my theory on that. When you run the streets, there's no such thing as a victim. You kind of sign up for that lifestyle. However, nevertheless, per civilian way of thinking, he is a victim, okay? But he is listed on the witness list. Now, what's interesting to me is why was Darren Mills a witness on this case? Okay? Now, in my opinion, just based off my thought process, haven't found a document that said different or said anything else. This is just Mickey talking. I feel like Darren Mills could possibly be the third person in the shooting, because I have no other, like, nothing is clicking in my mind to think, why is this guy on a witness list for a case that he didn't have nothing to do with, right? Because at first I was like, well, maybe it's because the guy was found in his home. But then I'm like, wouldn't his mom be on there too, since, it was her house? But she's not. So that leads me to think it was he possibly, in my opinion, just speculating, could be the third person in that shooting. Now, he is currently incarcerated. However, he's not in jail for this charge. Okay, so I will put that out there. He was not charged with this case. Furthermore, Fleetwood and Franklin would eventually take plea deals, and that kind of closed that case. Now, let me see which one. I want to keep the names together. I want to say Del Viante is still in jail. Yes, Del Viante is still in jail. He has, like, the earliest it said that he will be getting out is 2025. So he received 10 years. Now, as far as Franklin, he does not have, let me see, because I think I pulled his plea deal. So give me a second, y'all. Y'all know me. I like to just pull the what I have, and I like to do it sometimes while I'm talking, but I'm gonna try to stick to talking through me looking for what I'm looking for. But I do believe he let me just see what his plea was. I should have been better prepared. So just to walk you through what I'm doing, I'm going over to where I'm going. Oh yeah, Fulton County, because that's where this was done at. So I'm going through the records, and I'm gonna go over to the e-service part so that I can pull the record. And I don't think I have to pull it, because if I'm not mistaken, I already bought it. Like I told y'all before, unlike Texas and unlike Florida, Georgia, you definitely got to spend that money, okay, to get these documents. They say if you want to know something, you definitely gonna have to pay for it. Hence the reason why I don't always like to show documents, not just on the basis of it does have sensitive information and releasing them could cause repercussions, but also because I paid my money for them. Like, if you gonna take my stuff, people already take my free stuff, so you gonna have to come better than that. So nevertheless, let me put his name in here. Del Viante. And I don't even know if that's how you pronounce his name. So y'all already know I would slaughter somebody's name in a heartbeat. Now, let me see here. Boom, 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 boom. Is this it? This might be it. What's his case number? I'm checking the case number against Franklin's case number. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I think it's this one right here. Let me see. But yeah, y'all. So with that being said, let me make sure this is participation. Yeah, this one is it. So let me pull his plea deal real quick. Is this the one I got the transcript for? Yeah, so they got like a transcript and all. And that's one thing when a case is closed, and this is just a side note, when the case is closed, they're definitely gonna release the transcripts. So, okay, so for his plea, he got 10 years probation, so he didn't even go to jail. And it said the defendant is adjudged guilty or sentenced under first offender conditional discharge for the above stated offenses. He got charged with participation in criminal street gang activity, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. And in my opinion, I believe that the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon was 3 times, to include Copeland, his baby mama, and their child, in just my opinion. Let me see here, because I kind of want to, I'm going to go ahead and buy this because I want to see special conditions. So that's one thing you have to remember, is the special conditions is normally like the part that would tell you, like a little bit more. So nevertheless, he received 10 years. I'll do it another time. I just want to verify. So Franklin received time, but he's currently in jail for 10 years. Let me make sure I said that right. So the incident happened in 2015. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, he got 10 years for that one. Is this the same case number? Matter of fact, let me just check the indictment. Is he on the indictment with him? Let me see. Yes. Okay. So, I just be having to verify. So, yes, it is confirmed that Delviante Fleetwood and Octavius D. Franklin were on the case together for the shooting of Copeland, Kenneth Copeland, a.k.a. Lil Woody. A third person is not listed on it, just to put that out there. Which is, I mean, where is the third person? Because it clearly said it was a third person. But again, it is what it is. I'm looking at the subpoenas. And see, this is what happened. When you start clicking in something, you start seeing something else. So, yeah. So, I will say they did subpoena Copeland baby mama, which is not, like, far-fetched. I would have assumed that anyway. Again, it doesn't say, they pleaded out. It doesn't say if these people testified or not, but she was called as a witness. I'm not sure who this person is, so let me see whose name on this one. And let me see. Oh, so he was subpoenaed. So Darren Mills was subpoenaed. But I still don't, I don't know, y'all. I just feel like he possibly was the third person. Because he is definitely listed as a witness. So I see the subpoena for Darren Mills. I also see the witness list for this case, which has Darren Mills, has Kenneth Copeland, and it does have Kenneth Copeland's baby mama, who was at the incident at that time. So, yeah. Not really sure what Darren Mills' part in this is. But nevertheless, he was called as a witness. And again, it doesn't show a third suspect for this case. We can all just assume what we want to when it comes to that. But we're going to move on. All right. So that was 2015 events. And the reason why, let me tell you the link. The reason why this is important is because, of course, in the YSL case, Donovan Nut Thomas is a count on that indictment, meaning his murder is a count on that indictment. And I want to say it's count 2 of the indictment that his murder is. Give me 1 second. I printed it off. Yeah. So count 2 of the indictment, which has Javaris Bradford, Justin Combs, DeMonte Kendrick, Demise McMillan, Shannon Stillwell, with the offense of murder for the said accused in the county of Fulton and state of Georgia on the 10th day of January 2015 did unlawfully and with malice aforethought cause the death of Donovan Donovan Thomas Jr., a human being, by shooting him with a firearm, contrary to the laws of the said state, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. I will continue to say that the other two victims, if you're not aware, when Nut was killed, two other people were hit, and they are listed on the indictment also, just to put that out there. So that murder alone has 2 attempted murders attached to it also in the indictment. And I'm trying to see what count it is, so give me 1 second, because I didn't put everything in its order. But that's fine. That's what, we gonna get through it. So let's see here. That was January 10th, 2015. Yes. So we have that. They got an attempted murder, and it's the same people involved in that one. And then it's another attempted murder. And then they received a participation in criminal street gang activity for the murder and attempted murders. Yeah. So that's a link. Because again, Nut was allegedly, by all accounts, with YFN in some way. And Lucci himself has said in I want to say a Vlad interview, is that his best friend was Nut's little brother, and that Nut actually gave him his first shot into the game. So, yeah, definitely sad to lose somebody close like that. So, we're going to continue on. The next link that I found was in 2018. Martinez Arnold. Yes, that name sounds familiar because he is one of the co-defendants on YSL RICO that has already taken a plea. According to news documents and the indictment for YFN, he was shot twice outside the Greyhound station, which is near Magic City Strip Club in Atlanta, around 1 a.m. According to the Atlanta Journal, the man said he was shot and chased by 4 men. In the same article, it states that Arnold did speak with police about the situation that happened. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this. I don't know what street dude or that's active in the streets like it's alleged they will be sitting there telling the police some 4 men tried to gun me down. They'll be trying to handle it a different way. But nevertheless, that's what's said to have happened. Now, according to the indictment for YFN, they mention Arnold in that indictment. And this is why. It says that they have a video basically of them rapping a song where they reference No Love General as to being a shooter of Arnold. So, matter of fact, let me get the exact wording. Social media. Where is it? Where is it? Alright, here we go. So I'm going to read it to you guys. So it says 9/11/2020, and this is straight out of the indictment. The defendants, now these names, I can't pronounce worth shit. But anyway, the defendants, Ty, I'm going to do the AKAs. Ty, Nard, Bop, and Leak. Now, yes, Bop is Victor Meadows. Y'all don't know who that is yet, but his story will be coming. Next, it says, an associate of the Bloods did appear in a music video posted to the Instagram account using NoLove_Ty. Video filmed in front of the YFN studio wearing YFN apparel and jewelry, displaying blood hand signs, demonstrating and exhibiting firearms with extended magazines and rifles, while rapping lyrics about No Love General, who is a fellow member of the Enterprise, currently incarcerated for shooting of Martinez Arnold, a member of the rival gang Young Slime Life, or YSL, all of which are overt acts that demonstrate dedication to the Enterprise and its associates. enhances the violent and dominant reputation of the enterprise, and is public demonstration of their willingness to use violence to advance the enterprise. Now, No Love General, based on my research, is Marquavius Curtis. Marquavius Curtis is currently serving 10 years per plea deal for the charge from shooting Martinez Arnold. Now, again, according to the documents, which is the witness list, Martinez Arnold was listed as a witness on that case. Now, it's just going to determine really who you are and what you believe in, if you think that is a big deal or not. But y'all already know my stance. If you are in the streets, your name should not be on paperwork. And that's just how I feel. Doesn't mean anything. People do what they want. But, yeah, you shouldn't have been on paperwork. That's just my opinion. To each his own. Alright. So, and again, that is listed in the YFN indictment. I be having to say it slow so I don't mix them up. So, next, link comes in 2020. In 2020, according to the YFN indictment, Malik Stanley, a.k.a. Leak, which is a YFN associate who's currently on the RICO case, did receive a call from the Fulton County Jail, during which Malik threatened rival gang member Tanquarius Mender, a.k.a. Nard, who is listed on the YSL RICO, who was currently in custody at the time. He sent a threat by telling his associate to tell Mender, someone going to cook your ass when you get out. Yeah. That's what they said on a jail call, mind you. Now, of course, it's 2 years prior to them actually, doing anything, or going to jail about it. But nevertheless, it was recorded. Now, in 2022, a lot of us may already heard about this, some may not. Rashawn Bennett, a.k.a. YFN Lucci, was saved by another inmate in Fulton County Jail. Yes, I said saved, meaning he was helped out because Khalif Adams, a YSL associate who is on the RICO case, attempted to kill him. And this was about, February 7th, February 9th of 2022. A couple weeks after that, Rashawn Bennett was stabbed by Christian Eppinger of YSL, which is, he's currently on the RICO case for that too. Now, these are documented, right? And I'm going to tell you now, the two people, Khalif Adams and Christian Eppinger, one has life and the other one has 20 years. So I'm kind of at the point of thinking, they really don't care, because they're not going nowhere no time soon. But that is listed in the YSL RICO. Okay? So, these are the only cross-reference incidents that I found that included members of the other side RICO. And I did, yes, y'all, I did do a fine selection, put in everybody's name. Shout out to Spread Love and Miss Tina for helping me. We checked it multiple times to make sure we didn't miss it. So these are the only incidents that involve or name somebody from the other side. Okay? So I just want to put that out there. We did cross-reference it. Now, what I want to do real quick, who RICO is this? Okay. I want to make sure I don't leave this person out. Okay, that's in the other one. All right. So those are the links. Now, let's get into a little bit of backstory, right? And when I say backstory, I mean some names I have called already, and you're probably like, well, Mickey, what do they got to do, with the case? And that is what I'm going to get into, okay? So let me just pull it up real quick so I can have it in front of me. I'm going to start with the Rayshawn Bennett, a.k.a. YFN Lucci, okay? Because a lot of noise, a lot of situations are arising where people are saying he is set to testify and he's going to take the stand and he is going to tell and this. Now, will that happen? I don't know. Do I have proof stating that he's on a witness list? No. I do have the witness list, let me put it this way, the current witness list for the YSL case. And YFN Lucci, a.k.a. Rayshawn Bennett, is not on that list. It is a name, and I'm not going to say the name because I believe he's a civilian, that they do have documents like basically forcing him to come from another state in to testify. However, that is not Rayshawn Bennett, okay? So I just want to put that out there. He's not on a list. He has not been subpoenaed, and I'm actually pulling up the case right now to make sure, like, ain't no new subpoenas went out. And ain't that something? New subpoenas have went out. Well, let me see who's on it. I may have to retract what I said. Let's see. Who is this? No, that's not nobody that we know. Well, that I know. So that's not the one. Who is this? Okay. So no. The two new things, subpoenas, there are not nobody that I'm aware of, their name anyway. So again, a lot of people that I did cross-reference has, what I would say, they're victims. So if you look into the indictment, a lot of those people are victims. So yeah. Let me see here. I'm just trying to, it's a couple new documents that wasn't there. So other than that, I think I looked at all these. Let me just double check. But yeah. So yeah, things change every day. But it's two new subpoenas. Those, yeah, okay. Bam. So let me cross back to what I was saying. In March of 2022, YFN Lucci, this was right after, well, not right after, but like not long after, he was stabbed. He did file a request to post bond or have a bond so he can get out due to the threat on his life. His words, not mine. Well, the words on file. You feel me? Now, with that being said, he didn't get it, or it was pending, right? And this, like I said, this was before YSL caught the RICO. Once YSL caught the RICO, which was in May of 2022, I want to say like May 9th, 2022. On May 13th, YFN, excuse me, see these Y's. YFN Lucci legal team filed defendant supplemental renew emergency motion for bond. Now, it's a couple sheets long. I'm not going to read all, but I'm going to kind of give you the gist of what I took from it. And it basically says here, okay? It says, the motion is currently pending before this court, and corroborating that motion. Oh, let me read. That's not corroborating. Incorporating that motion in its entirety in support of this supplemental motion, Mr. Bennett shows the court as follows. 1. On May 9, 2022, indictment number 22 SC 182273 was filed in Fulton County Superior Court. It named 28 defendants and 56 counts, including RICO, murder, armed robbery, criminal street gang activity, attempted murders, and others. 2. The indictment names Mr. Bennett as a victim to numerous crimes, some facts of which were alleged in Mr. Bennett's most recent emergency motion for bond due to material change in circumstances. So, what did I take from just that part? Basically, they're saying he already told y'all they were trying to get at him. Y'all ain't listen. Now y'all done locked them up for exactly what I told y'all. And guess what? I'm in danger even more. It goes to state, the indictment states in overt Act 165 that on February 9th, while Mr. Bennett was incarcerated in Fulton County Jail, 3 defendants did unlawfully and with malice, forethought, and with the intent to kill, commit the felony offense of attempted murder upon the person of Rayshawn Bennett with a shank. And I did cross-reference that. That is correct. That's what's in the indictment. The next one is Act 167. The indictment states that on February 9th, 2022, 3 defendants did unlawfully commit the felony offense of participation in criminal street gang activity through the commission of the attempted murder of Rayshawn Bennett, a.k.a. YFN Lucci. In a different event, February 22nd, 2022, Act 171, 3 defendants did commit the felony offense of conspiracy to commit murder by discussing how to obtain the permission to make a second attempt to murder Rayshawn Bennett, a.k.a. YFN Lucci. While Rayshawn Bennett was incarcerated at Fulton County Jail, said first attempt to murder Rayshawn Bennett being alleged in Act 144 of this count. Then it says, Count 40 of the indictment charges 3 defendants with attempted murder of Rayshawn Bennett by stabbing at Rayshawn Bennett with a shank inside the Fulton County Jail. Then it says Count 42 charges 3 defendants with participation in criminal street gang activities through the commission of attempted murder on Rayshawn Bennett. Count 43 charges 3 defendants with participation in criminal street gang activity through the commission of attempted murder on Rayshawn Bennett. Then it says, subsequent to the aforementioned allegations and in a separate incident entirely, Count 47 of the indictment charges 2 defendants with conspiracy to commit a crime, the murder of Rayshawn Bennett, while Rayshawn was incarcerated in the Fulton County Jail by discussing how to get permission to kill Rayshawn Bennett and what the payment would be to do so. Then it goes to say, in total, Mr. Bennett is named victim in 5 different criminal offenses containing counts 1, 40, 42, 43, and 48. Despite being named a victim in a sprawling and high-profile criminal case, the Fulton County District Attorney's Office nor any victim's advocate from their office has reached out to Mr. Bennett or his counsel. He has not been apprised of his rights under OCGA 17-1-1, the Georgia Crime Victims Bill of Rights. Mr. Bennett has already appraised the court of the dangers he has and continues to encounter in the Fulton County Jail. Now, the Fulton County District Attorney Office has confirmed Mr. Bennett and defense counsel suspicions that Mr. Bennett's life is directly in danger. Mr. Bennett was stabbed with a shank repeatedly inside the Fulton County Jail, and other attempts on his life has since been confirmed as well. Releasing Mr. Bennett on bond subject to reasonable condition is the safest way to proceed. Okay? Now, that's a lot. I definitely want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. With that being said, I will go ahead and say that request was denied. Okay? And I'm looking for the document so that I can tell you in part verbatim, but it may take me a minute because I got so many papers on my desk. But I will say this. If you're not aware, a lot of times they use other cases when they're trying to make a motion. So the particular case that YFN legal team used was a case that happened since COVID, where a guy was pending like child pornography charges and had like a health issue. And basically was at high risk of complications due to COVID, okay? And that's what they used to compare what YFN Lucci was going through as far as fearing for his life. with that being said, they denied it because they said, not verbatim because I still haven't found the paper, is that YFN Lucci doesn't have an illness that could possibly get the people working in the jail sick or other inmates sick. He's basically going to have to fend for himself to be safe. They said they already moved YFN Lucci to a different part of the jail. He's in protective custody, so no other incident has been documented, so he should be good to go. Now, if I can find the actual document, I'll put it in the video. As you guys know, I upload this for my podcast along on YouTube, so I'm just recording right now. I'm not even doing the visual part of it yet. Now, I mentioned the name earlier, Victor Meadows, aka Bob. Victor Meadows is listed on the indictment with YFN. Now, the interesting part of Victor Meadows is that he is the only defendant that has a closed case now. Meaning he is not facing any additional charges from said RICO anymore. And you may be asking, Mickey, what? Right. So, according to documents obtained, Victor Meadows' case was dismissed, meaning all the counts he had on the RICO case, that was dismissed. And y'all give me 1 second, because I got a whole folder of just his stuff. Now, I don't know how you pronounce this. I'm going to spell it because y'all know I will slaughter a word real quick. Okay? This motion was entered on August 24, 2022. And it's motion to NOLLEPROSEQUI. We have seen this many times on some of the plea deals with YSL. This is what it reads. Comes now the state of Georgia by and through undersigned counsel and the district attorney for the Atlanta Judicial Circuit hereby files a motion to NOLLEPROSEQUI and shows this court the following. Defendant Victor Meadows was resentenced before Judge Richardson on August 22nd, 2022 in indictment 15-SC-131964. Although probable cause exists to make this arrest, as part of a global resolution, the state has agreed to dismiss this defendant from the indictment before this court. Yeah. Y'all heard me. And that indictment number that's dismissed is 21-SC-178179. For those who don't know what that is the RICO indictment for YFN. Now, what was he said charged in this indictment? Well, let's take a look. He was charged with count 1, which is violation of racketeer influence corrupt organization, which is the RICO. Count 32, violation of Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act. Count 33, violation of Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act. Count 34, possession of a firearm by first offender probationer. Count 70, violation of Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act. Count 71, violation of Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act. Count 72, possession of a firearm by first offender probationer. Now, I will say this. I do have the transcript from his plea hearing for his other indictment. However, it does not say anything like a substance to why they particularly took him off of this case. I will say that. Now, what I will say is the charges that he actually pleaded guilty to on the other indictment was aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated battery, possession of a firearm by convicted felon, commission of a firearm during commission of certain felonies. he took a plea, and his plea is 10 years, served 2 years, balance of 8 years to be served on probation. 10 years, served 2 years, balance of 8 years to be served on probation, and 5 years to be served. Then it says suspended consecutively to count 1. Yep, Victor Meadows. So in total, the defendant is sentenced for a total of 15 years, with the first 2 years commuted to time served. And then they suspended the 5 years. So he's out on probation. And the only special conditions he has is no further violation of the law, must not possess any firearms, must participate in the violence prevention initiative throughout the first 18 months of probation, any revocations to be returned to the Judge Richardson. Now, unlike some of the plea deals that we have seen in YSL, it doesn't say he has to testify. But you know why he doesn't have to testify? Or why I won't say that on this? Because this is not the indictment that he has co-defendants on. He's the only person on this indictment. Yeah, that's me shaking the paper. So, yes. Now, this is my question to you guys. And I'm going to end after this. If you recall, YFN Lucci was arrested not long after the murder of James Adams, which is the guy that was in his crew that was killed in the commission of basically a shootout. He was charged. A couple other people was picked up on it. They had an indictment open. Didn't include a RICO though. About, I want to say like a year later, he was out on bond for that indictment. The RICO indictment came down, right? So when the RICO indictment came down, they decided to close the original indictment that he was on probation for and just charge him on the RICO indictment. So this is my question. Why was that not done with Victor Meadows? Because to me, right, it would make sense to get the RICO on all of them, right? So what makes, or what do you think, because we may never know why they decided to do that, but what do you think was the reasoning that they closed out the RICO case on him and kept open the other one? You get what I'm saying? Like, and let him plead out on that. I don't know. It's definitely like, it's a little like, suspicious. I guess I would say, like, I don't get it, really, why that happened. Because I would think you would go after the big fish and not the little fish. But I guess, what do I know? So, yeah. Oh, one more thing I just thought about because I went to closing things on my computer. I mentioned Little Woody, a.k.a. Kenneth Copeland, on the YSL indictment. Now, somebody sent me a screenshot of like a balled up piece of paper from like that was leaked earlier in the year when the trial first went on. I haven't been able to find that paper, so I don't know if it's hidden somewhere deep down. I don't know. But what I can tell you, in the indictment, at 146, it says, defendant Demikian Garlington, an associate of YSL, did receive a communication through social media from another YSL member, to wit, Woody, a.k.a. Kenneth Copeland, stating they're trying to indict us on that body, an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. This was in 2021. So, again, Kenneth Copeland is said here to be a member of YSL. He was not indicted on the YSL RICO case, okay? So he sent this communication saying they're trying to get us on the body. 2 weeks later, roughly, Kenneth Copeland is arrested again for additional charges not pertaining to this RICO. And his girlfriend, who at the time was a Fulton County police officer, was arrested because she tried to erase evidence out of his phone. Now, I don't know if Kenneth Copeland, aka Lil Woody, got like a lucky rabbit foot somewhere. But this guy, and I'm going to put in a video, has even did an interview that said he has been arrested over 24 times since 2009. And I have his federal documents on top of state documents. I don't see why he is still walking around on the streets. He's clearly a habitual offender. But what do I know? You know? That's just something to think about. I'm going to put all this in the video for what I can put out there. I'm also going to put the video of the news report of the girlfriend who got arrested. And let me know any comments, questions y'all have. I'm going to do more videos to break down each RICO in more depth. But for now, these are at least the links. I will say this. Darren Mills. Let me remember that part. Darren Mills, who, if y'all don't remember that I said earlier, was a witness on the shooting of Kenneth Copeland and his baby mama and his girlfriend, his baby, right? Let me tell y'all, he is on the witness list for the YSL case. Yeah, y'all heard me. So that's something to think about. And then I will say that one of the the acts, and I want to say Act 43, is his sister is actually a victim also. So I don't know if that's why he's on the witness list or not, but nevertheless, he's on the witness list. And then I want to tell y'all that, give me one second, I'm pulling up the witness list again. No, I'm not going to go into detail like verbatim about this witness list. However, what I am going to do is just tell you some key names as far as what I've saw on the witness list. Is it going to let me pull it up? You know what? I'll just do that in the next video. So, yeah, in the next video, I'll go into the witness list. And like I said, I'm only mentioning those alleged, members that's on the list. I'm not going to go into civilians, per my knowledge, civilians, right? So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close out. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe if you are listening to this on YouTube. If you are listening to it as a podcast on iHeartMedia, Apple, anything, right? Make sure you like my profile. Make sure you share it. Tell a friend to listen to it. And your girl Mickey is signing off. So thank you for spending the past how long? I think about an hour with your girl Speaking Truth with Mickey. Mickey Truth 2022 on YouTube. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Until next time.
Off-duty officer here who told me that the entire department is just stunned by these allegations. She's the former City of South Fulton police officer accused of abusing her badge to protect her boyfriend. Investigators say 27-year-old Aaliyah Jackson, who joined the city's police force in 2019, was booked into jail last month on felony charges after she tried to interfere with a major police operation targeting Metro Atlanta's most notorious drug dealers and gang members. Among the suspects, Jackson's boyfriend, Kenneth Copeland, a convicted felon and documented gang member who served time in federal prison in 2018. Right now, it's unclear how long the two have been in a relationship, but police arrested Copeland on October 27th after they say he was caught driving in his girlfriend's car with a loaded gun inside. Following his arrest, police say that Jackson tried to delete her boyfriend's Instagram page containing photos of gang activity. She's also accused of trying to disable his phone, which police were storing.